Hey everyone, it's Ajadang. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Today should be a fun video because we are actually going through building kind of like my wedding Pinterest board. Actually, that's a lie. I've already built it, but we're gonna go through it because I know a lot of you are in same situation, just got engaged, congrats, babe, and now it's time to get down to business. So I kind of built this because apparently we are very much behind on getting vendors. So at least having a Pinterest board, you can send them your vision, what you would love to see your wedding day, and then the vendors can tell you, one, if they can do it, and two, if they can do it within budget. So you know me, trying to stay under budget. So I kind of spent the past couple weeks adding pins to my Pinterest board and have kind of figured out a vision, I believe. So let's go through it. I'm gonna put my Pinterest board link in the description box if it's something that you would love to reference back to, or if there are particular pins that you loved in this video. That way you can just go straight to my Pinterest board and pin it yourself from my board, okay? So I've titled my board, which is the vision I want to hopefully get on our wedding day, as Lush Romance. Basically what I want to see is a lot of green. I do want it to be very beautiful and gorgeous, obviously, but I want it to be lush. I want a lot of greenery. I want, I guess that's really it. Where we are getting married, because we've already booked the spot, is called Sunset Ranch on Oahu. So obviously there have been beautiful weddings there. What I really love is that they're all about like sustainability and land conservation, which is really important. And I just, love that. It was actually really hard for me to find a venue that I loved in Hawaii. And no offense to anyone who's gotten married in Hawaii, but most of them just didn't vibe with me for one reason or another. And then this was Sunset Ranch was the only venue in my mind that I thought was just like absolutely stunning. So here's the website. Okay, so this is where the ceremony is going to be. It's called Fern Gardens, and as you can see, they have these really tall, beautiful, old trees, and then behind, I think you could probably see, oh, thank you. You would be able to see the water view, the ocean view. And then there were two options for the reception. Oh, here's another view of Fern Gardens. Here's another view. So, again, very lush, very earthy. I do want to put either a runner or some rugs on the ground because it just irks me getting my wedding dress dirty because it's obviously grass. I think it might be dirt, but I would want to protect the dress at all costs. This is another area. This is the courtyard chapel. And again, it's a space that we have. This is kind of like a staging area for myself if I wanted to get ready or take pictures. They do have separate areas for your brides and bridesmaids and groomsmen. Again, Brian and I aren't having bridesmen, or what would they call it? We're not having bridesmaids and groomsmen because I just honestly think it's an outdated tradition that, if you're important to us, you're invited to our already hopefully small wedding. So I just don't think it's necessary, but there is that option for you there. But this is the chapel in which you can either like get married there or just take pictures or get ready. So for the reception, they have a few options. One in which I was originally into is the Sunset Stables. So this is an actual working stable with horses in it. And you have to bring everything in. I mean, you have to bring everything in. Here we go. It is gorgeous. You have to bring everything in because, again, it is a working stable. So they have house training or horse training in there during the week. And the horses you can like rent out for photos, but I think that's weird personally. But yeah, it's gorgeous. However, when my wedding planner did go, she said it smelt a little like a horse stable. And, for me, fine, but I could see how that could be a little unenjoyable. while you're eating. But that was originally what attracted me to Sunset Ranch, was the stables. However, after kind of building my Pinterest board and seeing what I really loved and talking to my wedding planner about the stables, I think we're going to go with this option, which is a tented option overlooking a pond and then the ocean in the back. So here's the view from the pond. So, you know, I think if I can get the lighting and figure out florals, we could turn this situation into something very lush and romantic. Okay, so knowing where things are happening and knowing what I want, here's my Pinterest board. Again, you're gonna see, because I've decided to go with the tented option, you're gonna be seeing a lot of tented options and dessert bars, basically. So we'll just go one by one. So this is a tented option that I really love. She is another wedding planner that I follow on Instagram, and I guess this is one of her weddings that she recently did. I love that obviously the hanging chandeliers I think is beautiful, and I love that they kind of, I guess, covered the wires for the chandelier in, I would say, I don't know if that's a vine or something, so kind of get that vibe. And then of course they did florals underneath the chandelier. So this is a photo of our engagement, and this is kind of the floral identity I'm thinking of going with for the ceremony. I think obviously we've all seen, oh no, that's a video. We've all seen this kind of, I don't even know what it would be called, which is cute. There's a lot of great options. Where was another one? Like, this is a really cute setup in which you are obviously in the center and getting married in the center. And I envision that to be a very beautiful photo situation. But for me, I think at this point, personally, I think it's overdone. So how can we be centered in the ceremony without having something like this, in which I feel like everyone does now? So these were the flower situation at our engagement. As you can see, I mean, the photo's not like straight on, but there are a little, like they're on stands, so we're still centered and there's still beautiful florals behind us. So that was kind of my thinking, and there are a couple other ones like this I think is absolutely beautiful. The color scheme I think might be too bright for what I'm looking at, but it is a better example of our ceremony or our engagement photos of what I might be interested in doing. And then there's actually another one from our florist. And then we have this, which I think is so lush romance. The Boy Who Cried Flowers, Anthony, actually did our engagement flowers. He is one of my favorite florists in LA, and we're lucky to have worked with him in the past. But I think this is just maybe a beautiful, unique example of something that could look really great for the ceremony, to play off the really large, beautiful, huge, like natural trees that have just been growing there. And for me, the focus is mostly on greenery. I would love to have more greenery than flowers personally, and then just have flowers poking in everywhere. And then here's another example of that. Even though this isn't necessarily the vibe, I just think this is so beautiful with the hanging flowers and the benches, and then there's that runner again. Again, it's more of like a lush arch. That's what it's called. It's more of like a lush arch versus one of those like wooden arches that you see a lot. And then I do love kind of the ferns or the flowers popping up on the outside of the chairs. But yeah, okay, so ceremony done. Let's talk about the reception. Now you're gonna see a lot of dessert bar options in this Pinterest board because Brian loves dessert. Personally, I actually don't really like dessert at all. I don't really like sweet things, but Brian is a sweets eater. So there are a couple options. Here's kind of like a cake donut stand that can be included in the donut bar or the dessert bar. Here's another option, again, just grabbing a variety of desserts. And then we're also not doing favors, is that what they're called? I feel like a lot of the favors that I have seen and have been given at weddings are things that I honestly just like don't use or kind of like toss. So instead of doing favors, we're just going to give people to-go boxes, and then they can, if they're not hungry for dessert at the wedding, they can take desserts home with them and then eat it at the hotel or at home and stuff. So that is our thinking. So basically it's just kind of all about in the design of what the dessert table will end up looking like. Again, with greenery surrounding it, there's candles in there. If you saw any photos of our engagement, there was a lot of candles there too. So I think bringing that in would really be pretty. And then it looks like they have little like string lights wrapped within the greenery on the dessert table, which I think is really beautiful. So for me, the key is romantic lighting and lush greenery. Here are more examples of a tent. Again, there's always some sort of aspect of live greenery in these tents. There was one, like I love the idea of a string light. I mean, there's nothing more romantic than string lights, right? So I think somehow incorporating that would be lovely. Here's one that I think is just gorgeous. What I really want is actually a clear tent. I don't want a white tent, but you can see it's kind of a mixture of everything I want. They have string lights on the roof or on the top of the tent, and then they have greenery. And something that I am doing are long tables versus like smaller circular tables. We had kind of like that long table at our engagement, and it just really worked. It made things more casual. You could sit where you sit, and also it gives us less to worry about with having to like put names and tables and all that stuff. So we're definitely going to be doing a few long tables in our reception. Again, the lighting is amazing. Hopefully we can figure out a way to do that that's affordable, but lighting and greenery, and then good food, I think I'd be okay spending some money on. Another one, I mean, how can you not love that? That's just gorgeous. I mean, how do you not want that? And I think for me also, being in Hawaii, you know, you want to feel like you're kind of in like the outdoors in a way. And I pinned this picture because I don't know what it is about wedding photos, but I just tend to not like them. I don't know if it's the way they're shot or colored or something, but I just really love this vibe of wedding on film. I think it's classic. I think it's vibey. I think everyone looks better in film, whether you're sweaty or matte or whatever, you just always look better on film. And I don't know, I just pinned that specifically because I know our wedding photographer also does shoot in film, so I'll talk to her to see if we can include some film photos. Now let's talk flowers. I know flowers are expensive, and that's fine. Again, I want to focus more on greenery than flowers, and I feel like because I'm in Hawaii, if I just have to go chopping in my popo's, you know, backyard to find greenery, I think I can do that. But in order to kind of fill the space a little bit more, I actually really do love this baby's breath. And I know baby's breath is affordable, but it is also full looking. So I just love this idea of baby's breath mixed within candles, done safely. I feel like we'd probably have to do electric candles instead of real candles, but I just love that vibe, and I feel like this is something that can be recreated throughout the wedding very affordably. And then this is a vision of a tablescape. It honestly looks like a bunch of weeds, but that's kind of what I like and I'm drawn to. It looks like it was just plucked from nature. And then here again with the baby's breath and the lights, the candles. Oh, and this is also something that I really liked as well, since we are doing the tent idea, a way to guide people to the tent through lights. And then here's another tablescape again with the greenery and the orchids and the fruits. I think just something organic like that, something very natural, not forced, is something that I'm really into. Also, in order to cut costs, we are not doing this stuff. We're not doing a lot of principal aspects in our wedding because, again, you're just going to throw them away. Not everyone needs a menu card. Now, unfortunately, because we are going to Hawaii, I don't think that we'll be able to bring the dogs and include them in our wedding. So how can we incorporate the dogs in our wedding somehow? I thought this was really, really cute because, you know, our boys love to eat. So we would have to just find someone to make Luke and Levi figurines. But I thought that was really cute. Of course, a custom pet signature drink. I don't think we're gonna do signature drinks because frankly, all of our friends and my family for sure just drink hard alcohol, tequila, whiskey, whatever. So I think a signature drink would be wasted at my wedding, but you know, maybe we can incorporate them somehow in signage, or there might have been, is that it? Oh, I thought I had pinned, oh. Or like how I was saying that we would do to-go boxes, maybe we could do doggy bags and have their pictures stamped on them or something. So just ways to incorporate the dogs. If you didn't know, you can't, it is so expensive to take your dogs to Hawaii because they have to have all these tests done to make sure that they don't bring in rabies or whatever into the island. So, you know, even though I would love to have the dogs in Hawaii. I think they would love it with all the space and the fresh air and the beach. One, it's not in our budget anymore, but two, it's just expensive. So maybe somewhere down the future, they can actually go visit Hawaii, but I don't think it'll be for our wedding. So something also that I thought it was important to include is kind of like a way to acknowledge those that have passed. You know, all of Brian's grandparents, I think, have passed at this point, and my popo is the only living grandparent. So how can we acknowledge and celebrate those who have passed? This is obviously not the vibe of the wedding, but something like that. But also, like, how can we make, I guess, like a memory section not depressing? So something that we need to think about. I'm already asking my parents to look for pictures that they love of their parents. But yeah, I think that's something that we want to incorporate into our wedding, but how can we do it in a fun, non-depressing way? I honestly think that this would be a really cute idea. People can just take pictures as they want. They can keep the ones they want. They can gift us the ones that they want to gift us. And I just honestly think that'd be a fun way to incorporate people into the wedding and capture memories that maybe the photographer might not have thought to capture because she doesn't know us as a group. So that way they can participate in helping us capture some memories as well. So I think that is basically it with the vibe of Lush Romance. I don't think I'm gonna add any more pins just because at this point it's pinning different variations of the same things, but that's what we're going for. Again, we haven't really started digging into how this will affect our budget. Hopefully there's a way that we can accomplish this within budget. And I feel like again, if I need to go to my Puspos backyard to cut greenery, then I'm going to do that. I think my friend said that he can do, from high school, said he could do kind of like the florals. So we'll see. And then I also think saving money by buying from smaller mom and pop stores for the dessert bar and then just do one small cake that we cut would be really nice. Again, the things that we will probably spend a lot of money on is the food, because we and our friends love good food. We're gonna do an open bar, but we can bring in that alcohol. So like just go to Costco, or I know my dad, he's bougie, and likes his scotch and whiskey, so he'll probably bring his own. It's gonna be crazy, and I want a live band. No DJs here, sorry. There's just something about a live band that makes me excited. I just love the vibe of listening to live music. So when I go home, I'm gonna make it a priority to try and find a live band. My brother said he knows some people, so we'll see. But yeah, that's gonna be, obviously having a live band is gonna be more expensive than a DJ or just playing Spotify. So I don't know, that is the wedding vision board. What do you all think? Do you think it is possible? If you've been through this, tell me, knowing my vibe and knowing the budget and what I want to go for, where are some things that you think I can cut corners in? Right now, our guest list is at 80. I am ruthless. I'm hoping to chop that down to hopefully 60. So it's going to be a fairly small wedding, but still fun. But yeah, let me know if there's any place that you can see me cutting for the budget and what you think. Again, the Pinterest board is going to be in the description box, so I hope you check it out and I hope it helps you with inspiration for your wedding. Anyways, I'm Ajadang. Thank you so much for watching. This is the start of the wedding content. I anticipate after coming back from Hawaii and maybe signing some vendors, there will be more to come. All right, thanks for watching. I'm Ajadang. See you all next time. Bye.